Hey, good morning, guys. What is going on out there today? It is Brent Abel here at webtennis.com. Hope you're having a spectacular day so far, wherever you are. Sunday morning here in the desert, California desert. A little chilly. I don't know what we got here. We got a little 40, 41 degrees. Yeah. But it's going to be about mid 70s today. Looking forward to that. Hey, Mike, good morning. Thanks for joining me on the call this morning. Yeah, I mean, Mike Rogers, a West Coast guy, getting up bright and early. So thank you guys for joining me today. I got something I want to share with you. Actually, a story that I really sort of back when I was playing. It's like 20 years ago, playing the National 50 hard courts in Santa Barbara, and really kind of came away with a big epiphany that kind of changed my game over the last 20 years. And it's really been an important thing. I'm going to get into that in just a sec. X is the mother of all frustration. I'm going to talk about that. A couple things first before we get into that is number one is going to be this. It's going to be this upcoming Saturday, December 12th, 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern. I'm part of a panel, a four-person panel that's going to host an immersion into plant-based eating. And we're going to talk about how, and again, I don't preach diet, but I'm going to share my story in terms of what I've changed with my diet over the last, now it's been almost 3 years, and how I've had the best results, tournament results since then. And but the big headliner is going to be Dr. James Loomis, who is featured in the Game Changers documentary. If you haven't seen that movie, that documentary, I highly recommend it. I believe it's could be on Netflix. I know it's over at YouTube. You can watch the whole thing over there as well. But it's really compelling. The evidence is really, really compelling about, and again, not preaching diet, not saying you ought to go totally vegan, totally 100% plant-based. I'm not 100%. I'm about 95%. My wife, Mai's about 98%. So we're darn close. But in the comments area, there is a link, and it'll take you to Karen Dugan's website, where you can get more information about what we're doing this upcoming Saturday morning, December 12th, 7 a.m. It's an immersion. It's going to be a couple, 2 or 3 hours. You're going to want to carve out some time. There's a small fee, but look, it's going to be worth it. If you're curious about, maybe you want to get a little bit healthier, this will be a great start. You guys know I've been railing on the kitchen for forever in terms of the fastest way to become a better player is to get the kitchen right. And then the second thing is, I know with a lot of my colleagues, my tennis teaching colleagues, and maybe you're in a different industry, could be personal training, but a lot of these industries right now are getting hit hard with restrictions because of COVID. And if you've got some time, or if you've got some interest in looking into, maybe there might be another way to earn a little side income, could be $500 a month. I don't know. Could be more, something that would make a significant difference for you, that would help out. I've got a book that I'm happy to give you. It's called The 4-Year Career, written by a guy that I used to work with, and Richard Blissbrook, who has been a mentor to me, a good friend of mine, and someone who has been in the network marketing business for 30 plus years. And really, it's just, this book, if you've ever thought about it, there you go. It's just so simple. It's small. It'll take you about 60 to 90 minutes to go through it. So if you want a free copy of that, let me know. Just go ahead and shoot me either an email, brent@webtennis.com, or just direct message me at Facebook, and I'll be happy to give you the book and mail it over to you. So with that said, I want to talk about what I think is the mother of all frustration for tennis players, and also for other areas of our life as well. But I'm going to share a story. And look, I got this phrase, is the mother of all frustration, from a young gal, Nicole, over at the Higdon Group, who I'm a member over there, and she is fantastic. But here's the thing. is expectation is the mother of all frustration. And for us tennis players, how that manifests itself is we go into a match, right? And we've got these expectations of more than what we want to happen, of what we think is going to happen. And very often things conspire to where those expectations just turn into frustrations. We sort of have this vision of wanting to go in there. We're going to play a first round match or a second round match. And even if it's against a known opponent, we expect to do a certain thing. We expect that we're either going to, win this match or beat this player or whatever it is. And the next thing you know is all of a sudden that opponent over there, who maybe you haven't played for 6 months, has been working their butt off. And they're all of a sudden not at this level when you played them last time. They're up here, right? They're playing better. Or there's a car horn that's going off over there in the parking lot, and whoever owns the car either doesn't know about it or just as clueless, whatever. And it's just annoying you. It's frustrating you, and it's causing some frustration. You didn't expect this, right? You didn't expect that thing to be happening. Or something. There's an opponent next to you who's just going crazy in their match, and so all of a sudden, expectations of what you're going to do in this match turn out to be frustrations because your expectations are not actually happening. And I experienced that a lot when I started to play a ton of tournaments. And this was after, I played in the 35s, and somehow Rob Olson and I won the 35 national hard courts back in 1984. My first gold ball. And then I didn't play a lot of tournaments after that until I got in the 50s, because like most of us, right, we're working, we're raising a family, all that stuff. So I think it was maybe my second year in the 50s, and the hard courts were being played down in Santa Barbara at the Tennis Club of Santa Barbara. And I entered, again, hadn't played tournaments for a while. So I had really low expectations. Not that I hadn't been training and not that I hadn't been working on my game, but I just had these low expectations, whereas before, when I was playing a lot and, okay, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And very often those expectations did not come to fruition, which caused frustration. So I go into this National 50 hard courts. I don't know. I'm maybe seated, but I'm probably, down below 8, something like that. And the next thing you know is I just go out there. I've got low expectations, and I just start relaxing and playing well. And the next thing you know is, I beat a really good guy. There's Joe Boquin from back east who'd won the grass, and I just kind of didn't even know who this guy was, so I didn't expect that I would, have to have I didn't know him, right? So go in there and I beat him. I think it was 11-3. And the 3 was kind of like, well, wait a minute, I got broken serving at 5-1 or something like this or whatever. I mean, it could have been 11-1 against a guy who just won the national grass the year before. And so when I went to that match, obviously not knowing this guy, I had no expectations, played well. And then I finally go and I play Armistead Neely. I mean, a legend, right? And I just had the same attitude. I don't know how this is going to go, but I'm just not going to expect something really good, or I'm not going to expect something really bad. And I went out there and just played the match of my life, right? I think I went through them like 3 and 4 with just simply, I got to do the work today. What's the work? First serve over here. Let's get him. Let's make the first volley. Okay. He's serving. What do I got to do? I got to return serve. I don't care who it is. I mean, on that day, I didn't care who, and so my expectations were not low. I mean, in terms of a negative way, I just didn't have any expectations, right? And then the next round, that was in the quarters to semis. I play a fellow BTC member, Steve Cornell, who had just won the national indoors in Chicago, I don't know, a few months before. And I practiced a lot with Steve. He and I played a lot of doubles together. And, I just kind of had the same thing. I just go, look, he's kind of the man, right? And so I just went out there and did the work without expecting something good or expecting something bad. And I end up beating Steve. I don't know what it was, 2-4 or 2-3. And I'm now in the finals. And now I'm going, well, God, I've just beaten these 3 great players. I'm expecting myself to do well. And I go out and play in the finals the next day against Len Wofford. And Lenny just tunes me 2-2. And I just am going during the match. I'm going, what's going on? I'm expecting to do well here. And it didn't happen. So that was a lot of frustration for me. But my takeaway from that tournament was, look, all you can do is do the work, and you can't expect a result. You cannot expect a certain result because there's too much in the game of tennis that's out of our control. There's too many factors that we just can't 100% control. I can't control if that guy over there is going to play the match of their life today. I don't know, right? And I can't control if there's, something else going on, some other thing that's happening that, hey, today, man, my second serve was not like the last 3 days. It's just not happening for some reason. And even though I was expecting it, now it's not happening. Now I'm getting frustrated. And so my takeaway from that is that I'm not saying you should have low expectations when you go out there, but you should not have this expectation that some result is automatically going to happen just because you've played this player before and you've beaten this guy every time, and or you've been working your butt off for the last 6 months and you're fit as a fiddle and you're hitting the ball clean as a whistle. Well, I'm expecting that I should have this result. And I guess that's the ultimate message, is that the frustration comes from when you expect a result and you don't get it. Look, so I hope that makes sense. And look, this message is also for, for teaching pros. I used to make this mistake. And I think the mistake for teaching pros is that, yeah, we want to be super positive with our students. But there comes a point where we are so overly positive that we create this expectation in our students' minds that just because in a lesson situation or a drilling situation, we've kind of set up this false expectation in their minds that, well, because what's our job in the lesson, right? I mean, we're trying to help them have success with this one thing we're working on. Could be technique, could be tactics or strategies, whatever. But we're setting up this scenario or this situation in the lesson court where we're trying to make them look good. We're trying to give them the feeling if it's technique, this is what that certain technique feels like. And so if we overdo it too much, if we're over complimentary, oh, that's great, you start to set up this false expectation of a result that when they go out and play their match, and that it just might not happen. So I think we've got to be careful about that. So guys, would love to hear your feedback on this today. Best way to do that, either in the comments right here. You can shoot me an email, brent@webtennis.com, or just direct message me if you've got some feedback. And again, just to get back to what I said earlier, look, speaking of teaching pros, coaches, tennis industry, could be a different industry. You could be a personal trainer, you could be a yoga instructor, whatever it is. I know here in Southern California, I mean, businesses are getting shut down at least for the next 30 days, where income, if you're trading time for dollars, your income is probably going down to zero, at least in that channel in terms of trying to produce income. So if you're looking for some ideas of a different way to generate a little bit of income, I'm telling you, there are other ways other than just being on the court, feeding balls and all that kind of stuff, that you can actually build a little side income, a recurring residual income. The thing I'm happy to give you is this book, The 4-Year Career by Richard Bliss Brooke. Simple, really small. It takes about 60 minutes, 90 minutes to really get clarity on what network marketing is all about. I'm happy to give you the book. All you got to do is just let me know your interest, give me a shipping address, and I'll get it out to you. I'll get it out to you today. Today's Sunday. I guess it would go out tomorrow, Monday. But anyway, guys, with that said, hey, listen, thanks for hanging out with me today. As always, always love to hear from you in terms of if there's something going on with your tennis game that you want some help with, let me know. Just direct message me. Juan, thank you. Or you can shoot me an email, brent@webtennis.com. And I promise to respond, promise to read and respond. All right, guys, listen, it's early here in the desert, so we got time. We got time to get organized, get out there today, have a great day out in the tennis court, hopefully, wherever you are. And if not, maybe it's a training day. Like for me, it's a training day today. I've been playing a lot of tennis recently. I'm going to take a day off today from the court and do some training. For me, it's going to be some stationary bike, crack a good sweat today, right? So anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out. I will see you again tomorrow. And as always, get out there today and help someone else have a spectacular day.